In the beginning, we are whole, a vast, borderless territory where every emotion, desire, and instinct roams free under a midday sun. There is no bad or good in the eyes of a child. There is only the heat of anger, the dampness of sorrow, and the electric hum of curiosity. We are a wild ecosystem, untamed and beautiful. But as we grow, the architects of our lives, the parents who want us safe, the teachers who want us quiet, and the society that wants us productive, begin to draw a map. They don't see a landscape, they see a project. They point to the competitive fire in our eyes and call it arrogance. They look at our deep-seated need for affection and label it neediness. They see the jagged edges of our anger and brand them dangerous or ugly. To survive, we become builders. We construct a great wall of shame and social grace. We push those vibrant, messy, inconvenient parts of ourselves over the barricade and into the abyss. We tell ourselves that because we can no longer see them, they no longer exist. This is how the shadow is born, not as a villain, but as a masterpiece of exile. The war of the Inquisitor, shadow work against the self. Imagine a man named Elias. Elias is the pride of the architects. He is successful, polished, and perfectly controlled. But Elias is haunted by a weakness, a profound, hidden sensitivity that makes his chest ache when he sees beauty, or his eyes sting when he feels another's pain. He views this part of himself as a structural flaw, a crack in his armor that must be filled with lead. When Elias hears about shadow work, he doesn't see an opportunity for peace. He sees a search and destroy mission. He enters his subconscious like an inquisitor entering a rebel camp. His goal is to hunt down the weakness, drag it into the light, and interrogate it until it agrees to change or disappear. The approach. He uses meditation as a cage and journaling as a list of grievances. He is not listening, he is prosecuting. The inner dialogue. I will find the trauma that made me this way, and once I understand it, I will be cured of this sensitivity forever. In this internal war, Elias is both the oppressor and the oppressed. Every time he wins a battle against a trait he hates, he loses a piece of his own vitality. He becomes enlightened in the way a bone is bleached by the sun. Clean, white, but entirely dead. He is doing work against himself, and the shadow, feeling the threat of execution, only grows more volatile and desperate in the dark. The ghost of the middle ground, the cost of silence. Between the Inquisitor and the Wayfinder lies the ghost. This is the version of us that chooses neither war nor peace, but simple avoidance. Imagine the person who feels a surge of creativity, a sudden lightning strike desire to paint or speak or lead, but immediately smothers it because the architects once said, "Don't be a dreamer." This person doesn't attack their shadow, they simply starve it. But a starved shadow doesn't die. It becomes a phantom limb, an itch you cannot scratch, a low-grade depression that tastes like dust. This is the heavy price of the Great Wall. It doesn't just keep the monsters out, it keeps the life in. The energy you spend holding that wall up is the energy you should be using to set the world on fire. The return of the Wayfinder, shadow work for the self. Now imagine Maya. Maya discovers a shadow of deep, biting envy. Every time a friend succeeds, she feels a sharp, poisonous sting of resentment. It is a trait she has spent years pretending doesn't exist because Maya wants to be good. But when Maya begins her shadow work, she does not bring a sword. She brings a lantern and a second chair. She steps over the Great Wall not as an invader, but as a wayfinder seeking a lost relative. She realizes that her envy is not a defect, it is a messenger. She sits with her envy and asks a revolutionary question. What are you protecting? What do you remember that I have forgotten? The discovery. Through the silence, her envy speaks. It reveals that it isn't trying to hurt her friends. It is a guardian of her own stifled potential. It was born years ago when Maya gave up her own dreams to stay safe. The envy is simply a compass pointing toward the parts of her life she has neglected. The integration. Maya doesn't try to fix the envy. She thanks it for the information. She realizes that by rejecting her envy, she was also rejecting her ambition. By doing shadow work for herself, Maya performs an act of internal diplomacy. She moves from a state of determinism, where her hidden envy controlled her moods, to a state of conscious choice. She reowns her fire, and for the first time, the fire no longer burns her from the shadows. It becomes a torch she can carry with intention. When a friend succeeds, Maya still feels the sting, but now she listens instead of hiding. The feeling no longer says, "You are less." It says, "There is still a life inside you asking to be lived." So she begins creating again, speaking again, reaching towards the dreams she abandoned years ago. The architecture of wholeness. The tragedy of the modern seeker is the belief that shadow work is a janitorial service, that if we just scrub hard enough, we will finally be pure. But the soul is not a kitchen floor. It is a complex, thriving ecosystem. You cannot remove the wolves from the forest without destroying the forest itself. When you finally decide to cross that threshold, you aren't just looking for flaws. You are searching for the great exiles of your own history. In the dark, you might find the child of wonder who was told to be serious and grew into a joyless perfectionist, the warrior who was told to be nice and morphed into a shadow of passive aggression, the dreamer who was told to be realistic and became a ghost of what if. As you approach them, remember, the light you carry is not a weapon of exposure. It is a hearth of welcome. The ultimate homecoming. You do not go into the basement to perform a cleaning. You go there to perform a rescue. You sit on the cold floor with the parts of yourself that have been shivering in the dark for decades. You listen to their stories without the architects in the room to shout them down. You realize that your anger was actually your self-respect trying to protect you. Your sadness was your capacity for beauty refusing to be numbed. Your chaos was your creativity trying to break through the concrete. This is the moment the internal civil war ends, not because one side won, but because both sides finally realized they were fighting for the same person. When you emerge from the dark, you will not be pure, and you will certainly not be perfect by the standards of the world, but you will be solid. You will have the weight and the presence of someone who no longer has anything to hide from themselves. You take those shamed, silent parts by the hand, lead them into the midday sun of your conscious life, and you say, "I see you now. I understand why you did what you did. You don't have to hide in the abyss anymore. We are going home.